We're all ready for tomorrow's race, but before we begin, let's have a quick look at those who'll be fronting the grid. Russell, Verstappen and Lewis Hamilton. With qualifying complete, all that remains now is the main event. We'll be live and uninterrupted for the Grand Prix tomorrow, so make sure you join us then. Forget pit stops, forget fuel management. It's pedal to the metal all the way here as we get ready for today's sprint. Off the back of a fantastic qualifying session, it's time to see how our starting grid looks for today's sprint. What a qualifying yesterday for George Russell. He'll start today's race from pole position, edging out Max Verstappen, who'll start from P2. Considering the rest of the grid, we have Hamilton, Leclerc, Lando Norris, and Fernando Alonso, Perez, Bottas, Ocon, and the engineer, Ricciardo, Gasly, Alex Albon and Vettel, Tsunoda, Magnussen, Lance Stroll and Mick Schumacher, Joe and Nicholas Latifi. And with preparations almost complete, let's head trackside for today's sprint. And now let's take a look at the drivers' standings. Well, it wasn't the best weekend for our championship leader, and their advantage at the top has been reduced. Let's move on to the constructors. It was a tough race for our championship leaders, who lose ground at the top of the table. Meanwhile, good work from Aston Martin this weekend, who pushed themselves further up the order. With the sprint wrapped up, we now have our grid lineup for the big race tomorrow. Be sure to join us then for what will no Formula One returns to Interlagos once again, with the stage set for what promises to be another classic Sao Paulo Grand Prix. Sebastian Vettel famously clinched his third championship here in 2012, and just 4 years later, Max Verstappen treated us to one of the finest wet weather drives of all time. It's an unusual anti-clockwise race here at Interlagos, where the Sao Paulo locals are packed into the grandstands at each of the 15 corners around this classic 2.7-mile circuit. Two very fast sections bookend the famous and highly technical Sector 2, where getting a good run out of Junsao into one of the two DRS zones will be key to any overtaking prospects today. It's time to see how our drivers are stacking up after yesterday's exciting qualifying session. George Russell will begin today's event in pole position, and it's Charles Leclerc in P2. As we continue through the rest of the grid today, we have Verstappen, Hamilton, Fernando Alonso, and Norris. The engineer, Bottas, Perez, and Esteban Ocon. Gasly, Vettel, Daniel Ricciardo, and Albon. Stroll, Tsunoda, Kevin Magnussen, and Mick Schumacher. Joe, and Nicholas Latifi. And now it's time to head down to the track. Anthony Davidson joins me once again in the commentary box, and it's fantastic to have you with us here, but I'm curious, as a man with experience out on the track, how do you stop those pre-race nerves from becoming overwhelming when you're lining up on the grid?
Well, I imagine they'll be starting to feel the adrenaline as they anticipate the rundown into turn one, a bit like preparing to go into battle. The unknown situation will bring nerves, but that's a good thing. It will keep them focused on the moment and on their surroundings as we build towards the start of the Grand Prix.
with that, another year of Formula One draws to a close and a new World Drivers' Champion is declared. Another entry added to that prestigious list of the sport's most incredible drivers. We've witnessed some great battles around the historic curves of Interlagos today, and they've taken a fantastic win. And talk to me, what do you think it was that sealed the win for them?
I think that smart tyre management on track and very smooth driving definitely assisted in their victory today. That combination meant they got the absolute maximum out of their tyres at all times.
Some amazing talent out on the track today, but Anthony, who would you pick as your driver of the day?
I have to give it to the engineer. They did a great job at getting the most out of their tyres without losing pace, something that's a very handy skill to have in modern-day Formula One.
It's time to see how things are shaping up in the Constructors' Championship. The lead at the top comes down after a strong weekend from the challenging pack. Meanwhile, good work from Aston Martin this weekend, who pushed themselves further up the order. It's been an absolutely wild weekend of Formula One action, and I can't wait to see what's next.